winter on the KZN South coast and the aloes are in full bloom. This means that it is time for the annual sardine run to kick off. The Sharks Board has taken all the shark nets out of the water along the south coast in anticipation of the arrival of the silver shoals and all of the predators that accompany them. A big groundswell, shaped by the morning offshore winds, is making the start of the season tricky. While the big waves may be attractive to surfers, they churn up the silt on the sea floor, leaving the water dirty and making it difficult to spot migrating shoals of sardines. The days start early for the beach seine netters. They collect their labor in the dark and head off down the coast, checking various beaches for any sign of sardine activity. The surf has started to drop off now, and water conditions are looking much better for hunting sardines. Waiting at various south coast beaches is part of the game. Patience is key. Nobody can rush the slow course of nature. The netters communicate with a network of spotters along the coast, making sure that they are up to date with any fish movements at all times. The labor keep warm and keep themselves occupied while they await instructions. When some solid information is received, the crew move out to get into position to take advantage of the approaching fish. Word is out that some shoals of sardines are approaching St. Michael's, and a number of different netting crews gather in the car park there, hoping to get some action and possibly be the first team to bring in a net of sardines for the season. The coastline south of St. Michael's is rocky and not suitable for pulling in nets. Everybody is hoping that some fish would move into the bay after the point, where a net can be pulled onto the beach. Info is received that there are more fish further south. With a chance of getting a net in at Margate Beach, some of the crews load up and start heading out. There is plenty of excitement and tension in the air, as it is not only an honor to get the first net of the year, but it is also financially rewarding, as prices should be good due to the demand for fresh sardines for the first time since last year. The netting boat is quickly launched by the crew and heads out through the surf. They soon find the sardines, which are easily spotted due to the gannet activity. The diving birds and other predators like sharks help to push the sardines in closer to the shore. All we need is for the fish to get within netting distance. Right now, Margate Beach is looking likely to be the venue for the first net of 2022. Salty old sea dog Kevin Bremner drops his net and starts to encircle it around a piece of fish that he has spotted on his echo sounder. The crew begin to move towards the anticipated beaching spot as Kevin opens up and starts heading inshore rope streaming from the back of his boat as he heads for the beach. The crew all run for the ropes and grab one, starting the long job of pulling in the net. These nets can weigh many tons and are not easy to pull in, even when they are empty. Are there fish in the net, or was it a missed shot? Everybody is hoping that there are fish in this net, and the crew put their backs into pulling it in towards the beach. Kevin controls the pulling of the net. Using a whistle and hand signals, he lets the crew know when to pull and when to stop, ensuring that the net comes in straight and evenly. The surge of the surf drags at the net and the pullers have their work cut out for them. As the net gets closer inshore, crowds begin to gather on the beach. Some members of the public even join in and start helping the netters pull in the ropes. Excitement mounts as the net gets near the beach. When the net hits the beach, it is clear that there's a good haul of sardines in the bag. Chaos ensues on the beach as people run around grabbing escaping sardines in the shallow water. Locals have been waiting for this for the whole year, and the holiday makers can't believe their luck that they're in the right place at the right time. The fever is such that even people who would not normally look twice at a sardine suddenly have an all-consuming desire to grab some for themselves. This is a good net of fish and should fetch decent prices from the buyers. The sardine season is now officially underway. Russell Sadler cuts open the seam of the net in preparation to start loading the sardines into baskets. This is an important method of loading sardines as it keeps the rest of the fish safely in the net and prevents the public from looting the netted fish. This is a big job. Russell and his crew will load tons of sardines by hand. Sardines are poured into baskets and then carried up the beach by the team and loaded onto the back of the land cruisers. The first net of fish is going to cover the costs of the netting season, whatever else happens. This is a big relief for Kevin and Russell, as they have already spent a lot of money on wages and fuel while searching for that first nettable shoal. The crew work fast. It is crucial to get the fish into the baskets as quickly as possible and get them to the buyers while they are still fresh and firm. Moving the fish from the net to the land cruisers can take 2 or 3 hours with a haul like this. The crew have put barriers in place to hold the public out, but even these are not enough to keep out some keen sardine hunters. Each land cruiser can take about 50 baskets of fish. Once they are loaded, they move off the beach to the nearest car park where they can meet the buyers from Durban. Prices are negotiated and baskets offloaded as the buyers jostle to get their hands on the fresh sardines. These are loaded into refrigerated trucks and will be taken to Durban and sold per dozen to people keen to eat some freshly caught bounty of the sea. that is left to do is to clear and fold the nets, pack the last of the fish onto the vehicles, and repack the net and ropes onto the boat, ready for the next shoal of those elusive sardines to come into netting range.